Just a few years ago, HTC was the #1 Android smartphone manufacturer. In the glory days, they were producing excellent smartphones such as the HTC Evo 4G, the Droid DNA, and the HTC One M7. HTC hasn't been prevailing in the crowded smartphone market, dominated by both Apple and Samsung. Recent years have seen quarter after quarter losses for HTC. Can the U12 Plus turn the tides in favor of the struggling smartphone brand? The U12 Plus is an unapologetically large smartphone, featuring a 6-inch display with an 18:9, also known as 2:1 aspect ratio, for those of you who paid attention in math class. With a resolution of 1440 by 2880, HTC calls this a Super LCD 6-panel. Might not be OLED like many manufacturers such as OnePlus, Samsung, Huawei, Vivo, and even now Apple are using, featuring beautiful contrast and deep inky blacks. That's not to say that the LCD panel HTC uses is bad, not by any stretch of the imagination. It's quite good. It's sharp, super punchy, and has great viewing angles. Despite only having a maximum brightness of 450 nits, it's still quite visible, even in the harshest of direct sunlight. This display is also HDR10 compliant with super slim side bezels that make content look great. Above the display sits the normal slew of sensors, ambient light, notification LED, so on and so forth. But what's most interesting about the front of this phone is the pair of f2.0 8-megapixel cameras. But we don't get a wide-angle sensor paired with a cropped-in sensor as we saw in the now ancient LG V10. Instead, we get a depth sensing unit for the fake bokeh selfie photos. The results are actually decent. This camera-riddled beast of an Android phone sports a dual camera arrangement up front as well as on its rather stunning-looking backside. A 12 and 16 megapixel combo coming in at an aperture of f1.7 and f2.6 respectively, which are comprised of a standard sensor and a telephoto sensor, providing 2x optical zoom as well as lending a hand to HTC's bokeh portrait mode. The front camera maxes out at a resolution of 1080p 30fps, while the rear cameras are capable of 4K 60fps, with their standard lens being the only optically stabilized unit on the phone. Let me shut up for a minute so you can take in some camera samples. The U12 Plus sports a Snapdragon 845 octa-core processor with 4 high-power and 4 low-power cores. This is commonplace for an Android flagship in 2018, with 6GB of RAM available for every SKU in every market. However, there are 2 storage options, 64 and 128GB, priced at $799 and $850, respectively. HTC is now on its 2nd generation of its squeezy feature, EdgeSense, first seen on last year's HTC U11, and it works quite well. A simple squeeze on the metal frame of the phone could trigger different actions with a short or a long squeeze. The U12 Plus packs a respectable 3500 mAh battery, which in my daily use of the phone for the last month and a half has been excellent. I've made it to bedtime with 25% left in the tank with 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time. Your mileage will vary. Now, on to the not so great. The digital buttons. In my testing, I had no issues with the buttons, even through a clear case. Until I flipped the phone to landscape to watch videos was I burdened with inaccurate touches and sometimes ghost presses and worse, when the phone wouldn't register or press at all. Just a few weeks in with the phone, HTC pushed a software update to patch the buttons, and those problems all disappeared. The U12 Plus has been great software-wise, running Android 8.1 Oreo out of the box. HTC says this will be upgraded to Android 9.0 Pie, but did not give a specific timeline. I've had no hiccups, stutter, or lag when using the phone as my daily driver. As with many flagships this year, unfortunately the U12 Plus does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack, but it does have HTC's signature boom sound speakers, utilizing the top earpiece and bottom speakers as stereo pair, and it sounds great, on par with the Note 9 and iPhone XS Max. Overall, the HTC U12 Plus is a great device for the HTC faithful, but with a starting price of $800 and a lack of carrier support, it's a tough sell, especially when phones like the S9 Plus are priced around the same, with other high-end flagships such as the Note 9 priced at just $150 more. This is Dave with TechDev. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this coming very soon.